Hello, I'm Suzanne. Here's a channeling I did August the 28th, 2024. I hope you enjoy it. If it resonates with you, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Let us begin with a brief introduction of both your host, Suzanne Irwin, and me, the soul of Jesus Christ. Suzanne identifies herself as a Christian mystic, having studied for 30 years how to transmit the wisdom of the Light Collective to help her on her own healing path. She is an emissary of God. We have joined with the singular purpose of bringing God's message to the people. She has prepared for this for many moons and has recently been given access to me to carry out this mission for the rest of her life. During her earlier years, she raised a son as a single mother and has been devoted to helping in the upbringing of her grandchildren, who have now reached their teens and do not need her involvement as much. I request that you all respect her right to kind and loving exchanges. If you want to request a personal and private healing session, please do so through her website in the link in the description below this video. Please pass by if you are not at the stage in your journey. We are here to share information to help bring those who have ears to hear and eyes to see to the next level of their own personal evolution, as each person who can relate to my words will create further global awareness and light in the world. We are excited to begin this work and welcome you to the fold. The bravery of this woman who willingly offers herself, her time, and her life with the singular goal to enlighten and raise the awareness and collective light energy of the people with whom she shares this earth walk gives me great pride as she opens herself up to criticism and all manner of naysayers. We are not embarking on this journey to create friction and entice arguments as to the verity of what has been said here, but to help you all raise your vibrational frequency to do your part against the global epidemic of fear, hatred, racism, and panic, so that you know that you are not alone, but are all part of a collective movement of love, light, and compassion to your fellow man and to your host, Mother Earth, the planet upon which you all stand. She deserves your respect and your love, whatever your state of evolution, to continue to sustain your lives here on the planet. We will touch upon many topics of interest in the months and years to come. Our hope is to elevate global consciousness here on Earth and to help those who are ready to heal their pain and terror, so that you may all experience the joy and the love God has for each of you. The life of a devoted follower of Jesus Christ and the Christian path is not easy to achieve. It involves regular prayer and time for reflection, biblical readings and discussions. It is not a path of perfection, but of the development of knowledge and self-reflection. What, pray tell, is the knowledge that we seek? Is it about world affairs, or about the latest crisis in the world, or about the last child who was abducted? Or perhaps is it about the most recent forest fire and all the homes and people it has displaced? No, the knowledge that is sought as a follower of Jesus Christ is about the self, the inner workings of the mind, heart, and then the soul. It is an all-pervasive need of each individual born on this planet as a human being to discover the truth about themselves, their origins, genetic structure, weaknesses, and strength, with the most important goal of knowing thyself. Why did I come here? Who am I? What is my function on this planet? What have I come here to accomplish? These are all questions that those with curious minds eventually ask themselves, and so then the search for meaning begins, which inevitably ends up taking one down the path of self-discovery and to God Himself. The path of self-discovery can be treacherous, as there can be snares and dark corners in each person's nature, which lie dormant until you bump into them. There may be memories of dark events in your past which create stumbling blocks and a strong urge to shut the door on these memories in the hope that they will not resurface again. until another event or person triggers it once again and the trauma is relived and creates yet another ugly event and further reason to silence it once again. The more often the unpleasant event is buried, the stronger the memory once it resurfaces, and the more entrenched the self-destruction as we attempt to drown it out, smoke it out, eat the pain away, or any number of unhealthy habits formed to silence our deep shame and pain. A Christian seeker is a truth seeker. There is no knowledge that is hidden. Many people believe that if they don't divulge their secrets, then nobody will be the wiser. The truth is that nothing that has been thought, said, or done is truly hidden, not from our own minds, not from the world, and certainly not from God. All is known. This thought will terrify many of you, but those who exist in the light realm as other than human are not capable of judging these wrongdoings. We prefer to think of these events as opportunities to grow, develop, and learn from what we have done. Please stop hiding the truth from yourselves, as the truth always seeks the higher ground and begs to be revealed, so that it may resurface to be healed. This does not mean that the pain and suffering we may have caused other people does not continue to plague them, but it means that we take responsibility for our part in the event, and we begin to work on ourselves in the hopes of freeing ourselves from the pain, shame, and repetition of the lesson. For those who hide truth from themselves are doomed to repeat the lesson. This is an invitation from me to prepare the ground for tilling. This means that I invite you to rediscover yourselves by beginning the excavation into the dark corners of your psyche. This does not require that you reveal the truth to another person before you reveal it to yourselves. This is where the work begins. Commit to yourselves to open the door to your inner lies and secrets, and start by admitting the thing that you feel guilty about to yourself. You may choose to put pen to paper, which begins to unscramble the mess in your mind and unburdens the load that you carry, one word at a time. This is not a piece of work to be published. This is a private, sacred process to unveil your deepest, darkest secrets and the key to what you hold inside yourself as shame. Shame is crippling. These are lies we tell ourselves to punish ourselves. They are pre-recorded messages by the critical parental figures in our minds. The inner parent who never shuts up, judging every act and thought as wrong and evil, which you are doomed to tell yourself in a never-ending cycle of self-flagellation. This path inevitably leads to self-destructive behaviors, as our inner self believes what we tell it, carrying on our parental figures' belief systems about us, or rather our belief system about what we think our parents felt about us. Do you recognize your parents' judgmental voice in your mind? Do you listen to your self-talk? Do you know how to reprogram your own minds to reparent yourselves in a kind, loving, and patient manner? Or are you caught in a hamster wheel of torturous inner psychological dialogue that creates an unending cycle of pain, guilt, and remorse within your own mind? The crippling side effects of shame can undermine every effort that you make to free yourself, as you sideline every attempt at silencing the memory by harming yourself in one way or another, instead of taking steps to free yourself. Most people do not embark on this journey of self-discovery, as they have no idea how to begin or where to look for help. Look no further, for we are here to help you navigate these dark, deep waters so that you may one day emerge to free your soul, heart, and mind, and to experience joy and love once again. The problem with hunger is the desire to find food, and that becomes an all-important point of focus. People forget to nourish their spiritual appetite. You have all come to this earth to nourish your spiritual hunger for divine knowledge and to remember who you are. Who were you before you incarnated in this body? Do you suspect there is something more? Or do you think that people like Suzanne are plumb crazy and hallucinating, which I assure you that the latter is not true. For without God and the entire Light Collective, she would not have made it this far along in her life, meaning she would not have had the strength to continue on believing that she is alone and that her life has no meaning and is worth nothing. Where do you come from? What were your previous experiences? Which lessons do you choose to learn in this body at this time in history? What is your relationship with God? Do you have a relationship? Or are you lost at sea, flailing about, believing in nothing but yourself and your small life? My last comments will likely incite some rage, or at the very least, indignation in some. I assure you that this was calculated to do so. If you reject everything that was said here, then I applaud you. Question everything. Think about the questions raised above. What is your position? What does God mean to you? If you wish to get lost in semantics, be my guest. Is God a woman? Is God a man? As in John 3:16, if God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, then why does he permit the horrors and atrocities in this world? Is God laughing at us? All these questions have answers, to which I intend to respond in subsequent videos. Perhaps you could leave your questions in the comments, and I will endeavor to respond over time. If I truly am the soul of the one known as Jesus Christ, what am I doing on YouTube? To which I respond, why not? We use whichever platform will reach the most people. I have had many disciples over centuries, and they all spread the same basic message, as do all spiritual leaders over many religions across history. We spread the message of love, compassion, and kindness. This particular time in history demands a radical change, so that humanity and her host planet Earth will continue to survive and perhaps once again thrive. The hounds of war cry out to divide and conquer, blowing their horns and destroying nations. Throughout history, warmongers sought land to gain power with no concern for human life, destroying nations to rebuild once again in their own names and under their banners. We can think of a few examples in recent history that are currently playing out, but the risks are greater now as the war toys can now annihilate the planet. How far will they go? How many more will die? How many more families will be torn asunder or eliminated completely? We are here to begin a counteroffensive on ignorance, to enlighten one person at a time, to bring forth a new nation of peaceful, loving beings intent on reviving this planet and cohabitation with other members of the species to avoid certain annihilation. Join us. Do good where and when you are able. Show love and kindness to your fellow man. Spend time getting to know yourself. And what you will eventually discover is that at your core is a spark of the divine, pure light, a human being with the power to change this world, one relationship at a time, beginning with the one with yourself. Know that I love you, know that God loves you, and that your life is very important. We shall continue this work in videos to come. Blessings to all.